Officers thought Adams swallowed even more contraband, so they rushed him to Grady Hospital.
We've had yet another instance of alleged contraband being introduced to our space. And as a result of that and a subsequent investigation, one of our inmates unfortunately had to go to Grady Hospital. The other thing I would just invite counsel to talk with their clients about, I know I've mentioned this 3 times now, what is considered to be acceptable behavior. This is the 3rd time that we've had contraband introduced into this in this space. The court's concern is that this may pose issues to them remaining and being present in this.
According to a court motion filed by the Fulton County District Attorney, Young Thug's co-defendant, Khalif Adams, allegedly handed Percocet to the rapper during court on Wednesday. In the highlighted part of this video, you can see Adams extend his hand to the rapper. Prosecutors allege that's when he handed him the drugs. You then see a deputy walk up to the rapper and demand he hand it over. Young Thug complies.
If you've been following the Young Thug trial, you know that there's a lot at stake here. Not only for the rapper who's been indicted on various charges, but for the Young Slime Life crew, aka YSL, that he co-founded. Young Thug and the vast majority of the group were arrested on RICO charges and are standing trial for their alleged actions. Some of these charges carry hefty prison sentences if they're convicted. So the one thing you don't want to do is make your situation worse than it already is, right? Except Young Thug may have just been caught in court with drugs. We'll break it down for you. But before we do that, go ahead and do us a favor by leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. Do you want the chance to win a brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max, MacBook Pro, or a $500 Amazon gift card? Find the hidden message that's in the video, comment it down below, and subscribe to the channel for a chance to win one of these amazing prizes. Don't forget to hit the like button, and good luck. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video, the drug bust. Young Thug and a racketeering co-defendant conducted a hand-to-hand drug transaction during a court hearing, prosecutors said in a motion filed in Atlanta. Fulton County prosecutors say the alleged exchange was captured on courtroom surveillance video on Wednesday. The rapper, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, and Khalif Adams are charged with conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act, or the RICO Act, and participation in criminal street gang activity, among other charges. According to the motion seeking clarification of the record, Adams stood up from his chair and walked unattended to Young Thug and gave him a Percocet. The motion said Young Thug tried to conceal his hand under the table. Sheriff's deputies took the painkiller and searched Adams, who resisted. He was taken to Grady Memorial Hospital after he appeared to ingest other items of contraband that he held on his person in an effort to conceal the extent of his crimes within the courtroom. During the search of Adams, the deputies found Percocets, marijuana, tobacco, and other contraband wrapped in plastic and food seasonings to mask the odor of the marijuana, the motion said. Percocet is the brand name of a drug that mixes oxycodone, which is an opioid, and acetaminophen, which is the generic name for drugs such as Tylenol. Keith Adams, one of Young Thug's attorneys, told CNN affiliate WSB-TV his side is the truth. The reality is Mr. Williams had nothing to do with what went on in the courtroom yesterday. Adams also told WSB Young Thug did not know it was a Percocet being handed to him. Tiambre Calland, an attorney representing Adams, released a statement via text message to WSB-TV saying, on behalf of Mr. Adams, these allegations are simply that, mere statements made by the state in an effort to thwart the lengthiness of the jury selection process. According to records, Adams is now facing possession of a Schedule II controlled substance, 2 counts of willful obstruction of law enforcement, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and possession of an alcoholic beverage by an inmate. So there's a lot to break down here, including why in the world would he do this? That is the big question, and it's not that easy to answer. To be fair, we can't say for certain that Young Thug knew what was going on when he got that painkiller, and it should be noted that by all accounts, Thug didn't take the medicine or try to resist giving it up. There are even some reports stating that Young Thug has been cleared of knowledge of this incident, which would be a big boon for him for obvious reasons. As for Adams, the questions are much more numerous. Remember, he didn't just have that Percocet on him, he had a menagerie of other drugs that were criminal to possess, and yet he had them in good supply, or at least enough supply that he could carry them on his person and easily distribute them to someone like Young Thug. Even if Young Thug didn't know about all this, it's still a dumb thing to do, especially when you remember that Adams passed the drugs while court was in session and while they were in the courthouse. There's dumb and then there's that. What was Adams expecting to happen here? Did he really think he could get away with this act? Did he not think he would be searched if he did something suspicious? And did he really think having a bunch of contraband on him would make things better? Remember, the RICO case for the YSL crew was for various charges, and many have claimed that this was a witch hunt from the start, and yet we just had a drug deal go down in the courthouse. So if nothing else, some of these YSL members are guilty. And if Young Thug was the one who helped guide them to do these criminal acts, then he's guilty as well. Again, we can't say for certain that Young Thug knew about this particular exchange, but we can say that he wasn't the one who reported what he got from Adams. So make of this what you will. All this goes to show how special this case really is, and how things are going to continue forward, because the last thing the court wants is another delay in the jury selection because of illegal contraband. The case as it stands. To recap, Young Thug and Gunna are members of the alleged criminal gang Young Slime Life, or YSL, and prosecutors accuse the group of conspiring to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, again the RICO Act. They have cited Young Thug and Gunna's song lyrics, music videos, and social media posts as evidence of the high-profile case. According to the AJC, they also claim Young Thug is a co-founder of YSL. That's why they were able to be tried under the RICO Act, because they were a group that was doing these acts. Defense attorneys say YSL is simply a record label. Meanwhile, supposed YSL gang members have been blamed for some alleged crimes in Atlanta. 2 of the defendants named in the original indictment were not arrested, while 4 others don't have attorneys. That's not because of a miscarriage of justice. There have been multiple attempts to get them lawyers, and those attempts will continue until they're lawyered up so that they can be tried for their alleged crimes. Several YSL associates accepted plea deals before Christmas, including Gunna, who was released from jail, and Young Thug's brother Quantavious Greer. As part of his probation, Greer must not have any contact with Young Thug, who's been denied bail, or other defendants until the RICO case is closed. And that right there makes it interesting what the lawyers have said about YSL, because if they're just a record label, then it must not be under very good management, since many of its members are in trouble with the law. According to multiple reports, alleged YSL member Antonio Sledge claims YSL associates killed Donovan Thomas Jr. in 2015. Those involved with the crime reportedly went to Young Thug's home after the killing, where the hip-hop star gave Sledge and other YSL associates money to lay low following the incident. Sledge, who accepted a plea deal, told prosecutors. The fact that many members of this case have already taken plea deals is telling in more than one way. The biggest way being that they'd rather take a smaller punishment than go to jail and basically admit their wrongdoing in a lesser fashion. It also helps cement the prosecution's case, because if you didn't do anything wrong, why take the plea deal? Yes, we know that the law system in the United States isn't the best by far, and that many people are forced to take deals versus going to court, where a cascade effect can happen, and they lose everything despite being innocent. However, in the rap game, which YSL is a part of, taking a plea deal can sometimes be seen as a sign of weakness, something that Gunna is finding out right now. Gunna problems. Gunna was the biggest name outside of Young Thug's brother to take a plea deal, and he made his thoughts very clear on the matter when he took it. Gunna said he became affiliated with YSL in 2016, but did not consider it a gang. Instead, he said it was a group of people from Metro Atlanta who had common interests and artistic aspirations. My focus of YSL was entertainment, rap artists who wrote and performed music that exaggerated and glorified urban life in the black community, he said in his statement. While I have agreed to always be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case, and have absolutely no intention of being involved in the trial process in any way. Gunna continued, I've chosen to end my own RICO case with an Alford plea and end my personal ordeal by publicly acknowledging my association with YSL. An Alford plea in my case is the entry of a guilty plea to the one charge against me, which is in my best interest, while at the same time maintaining my innocence toward the same charge. So to him, he took a plea deal, but he's not associating himself with the case beyond that, and he maintains his innocence. We'll see how long that holds, especially since many rappers have come after Gunna for taking the deal. You see, Gunna has seemingly been dissed by Lil Durk, with Lil Baby and Meek Mill also turning their backs on him based on their social media activity. Durk took to Instagram recently to share a new song snippet on which he appeared to take shots at Gunna for taking a plea deal in the sweeping RICO case against him and Young Thug's Young Slime Life YSL Collective. What happened to Virgil? He probably gon' tell. I let him go because Timo ain't selling. Thanks Seven and Buka, I'm bragging on Melvin. When Lil Boo and them mad, it ain't nothing you can tell him. I can tell you what I did for the streets. You got the paperwork, did it and reached. I got on Clubhouse and got in the beef. He raps on the song. Gunna previously collaborated with Durk on What Happened to Virgil from his 7220 album last year, which paid tribute to the late Louis Vuitton and Off-White designer. In addition to Lil Durk's apparent diss, Lil Baby and Meek Mill appeared to unfollow Gunna on Instagram. The 4PF hitmaker was one of Gunna's closest and most successful collaborators, with the duo joining forces on the Platinum Certified Drip Harder in 2018, as well as songs like Chanel, Go Get It, Heatin' Up, and 25K Jacket. But wait, there's more. According to DJ Academics, his recent social media post supporting YSL has caused a major upset within the Atlanta camp. YSL having a civil war beef on Instagram, the media personality wrote on Twitter earlier this month. Gunna came out and tried testing the water, claiming YSL the label, and said free Thugga, and everybody in YSL looking at Gunna like, you the reason he in there. They all unfollowed him right after, even Thug's sister. The post in question saw Gunna pleading for Young Thug and Yak Gotti's freedom while teasing his return to music, acting like they switching up to a side, but it's only one side. He wrote on Instagram, hashtag YSL the label, hashtag free Thug and Yak, Gunna back. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this case, and that means that things will be problematic for all involved going forward, and we're still in jury selection, so who knows what'll happen next. And there you go, everyone, a look at everything that's been happening with Young Thug and whether this new drug issue is going to hurt him in the court's eyes. Were you shocked when you heard this happened? How stupid were these two to even try and do a drug pass during court? What do you think will happen next in the case? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.